Hi, this is Diane Bruss with Stampin' Up. I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today we're going to make a card with our well-dressed set. This is a celebration set that is no longer available. But we made a really cute card with this. And the envelope is already stamped. And we also used the Stone 3D embossing folder. This folder is no longer available, but the paper we did use is our Country Club Suite DSP, which means Designer Series paper. That is what we used on this. We're going to get started on how we assembled it. In it, this is the designer paper we embossed in the folder with the stone embossing. Old Navy was the ink that we used, and this is the stitched oval that we use there, that we use the die cut for. Anybody who got the set, this is called fussy cutting. So when they don't have a die cut for something, I save the image of the stamps and I store it in, of course, oh, it is in here. So when you get your stamps and you pop them out, I keep this. So when it came time to stamping out the umbrella, and I don't want to have to sit there and think about it, I just put this over the image. I take a pencil and I outline it. So I'm able to cut it out and not get frustrated or anything. So there we go. That's that. And then with the hat, I did the same thing. So I had just taken the hat one right here. I laid it over it and traced it. And that's what I did. I learned that trick with someone else on YouTube, and this was the first time I tried it, and it definitely proved to be good. The envelope is stamped with an Old Navy hat as well. This card is a happy birthday card, but you also could make it a Father's Day or a hello. We don't have any, really. I have my husband who's a father, my brother who's a father, and my brother-in-laws, but my father, my husband's father both passed away, so we're doing happy birthday today with this. So I did fussy cut those, and let me get all my parts here for you. Then this is the DSP. So DSP has two different designs on each side. So that's kind of what's neat about the DSP. You usually tend to fall in love with two sides of one paper and then you're buying more. So I know that tends to happen with me. I have all my parts all laid out. So a lot of times when you score your cards, I can never remember this. Now I do, but where the bump is where you're going to fold it. So the bump goes on the inside. I love a bone folder. It just really gets a nice crease in there for you. And this is a really simple card. You're going to see the hard part was basically cutting out the hat and the umbrella. And we're going to take our embossing folder. And in previous things, I have used snail tape adhesive. That's what I use a lot of times. Or I use the Tombow multi-liquid glue. And if it's really fancy or difficult, I use the fine tip glue. I really love this a lot for the fine things. But my friend Jen taught me that when you use this glue, it's very forgiving. And you can actually cover quite a bit of an area with it and move it around a little bit. I am not the measuring person. Anybody who makes cards with Diane knows you're not going to get a measurement out of me. I kind of say, yeah, that looks good and it works for me. I don't do math. I make cards all the time, but I don't do math, and I admit it. I'm getting there. But so when you do cards with me, don't expect to say, what measurement did you use? I just kind of wing it. So I folded this before I really should have, but I kind of, like I said, I wing it. If it looks good, we have a joke around our group. It's handmade, not Hallmark. Sorry if I'm not allowed to use that word, but they're handmade. And if anybody's going to critique my card when they get it, then maybe they shouldn't get one of my handmade cards. That's all I'm saying. But I have fun making them. And I've been doing this for many years. I hadn't done it for at least 10. And I'm back making cards again, and I really enjoy it. So now that you have this done with the glue, it's nice because it really stays in. You don't have to worry about it coming undone or anything. So I actually, when I do this, I actually start with my middle first, so that I'm not too high or too low anywhere. If you heard a whining, that was the dog. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the glue again. Usually I would use the snail on this, but I think we're gonna try to use this. I love plaid. Anybody who knows me knows I love anything plaid, so this is a perfect one for me. And there we go. That one's down. See, that's why I like the snails, because I can get those corners pretty good. So see, I already screwed up. This isn't the plaid one in the center. This is supposed to be, we'll see how forgiving it really is. This was supposed to be right here. So this kind of gives you an idea what to do when you mess up. We're going to see if it still will stick down. And the plaid goes in the center. We're going to see if there's, actually I'm going to put some snail on it. We'll be okay. I'm actually kind of glad I did that, so one, people can see I do make mistakes, and there is a way to fix it. And I'm pretty good at always finding a way to fix a mistake. So there we go. This is why, in this case, this is why it's a good thing I didn't use the tape, because I wouldn't have been able to get that up. But we're good now. So it's kind of nice when you see someone who thinks they know what they're doing make a mistake. So technically I kind of spaced this a little bit more than I would have liked. But it's okay. It's all good. I'm going to see how much that stuck down good enough. It's okay. So you can pop this with dimensionals if you want. I actually chose not to, because that just meant it was going to be higher and higher. So I actually did this with that. I used not Old Navy. I used Night of Navy to stamp this. And you know what? Because I kind of mucked up, I'm going to, oh no, I can't go too much. I'm going to off-center this now, since I kind of messed up, and I can kind of hide my mistakes. So that'll give you a heads up with that. So the umbrella, I didn't use a dimensional on. I used snail on that. And my snail is gumming up because I got an old one here. This is one of the reasons why they replaced this, but I still love my snail. Hold on. There we go. So if you get your snail, if your snail comes up on the side like that, I just kind of rub it off before I put it down, and that way it doesn't come off on the rest. But I'm gonna, to kind of like hide my mistake a little bit, I'm just gonna offset this like that. Now I am going to put the hat on a dimensional. These buttons are not Stampin' Up. Stampin' Up does have a big variety of them. I didn't have any more brown, but the teal worked in there pretty good. So I am going to put this on with a dot of glue, and we're going to put it right here. And it'll take a little bit to dry, but this will adhere it perfectly fine. You can use glue, the mini glue dots. You can use pretty much anything on that, and it'll hold it in. And I'm going to take my dimensionals. I like to pop things a lot. It's kind of like a second nature. And it makes it really fun. Now, normally I would have stamped inside the card or whatever. You can always put a sentiment inside if you want. If you have a personal stamp, you can even stamp on the back. I always stamp my envelopes. I love to stamp the envelopes. And just take glue dots off. And I'm going to set that. I'm still going to overlap it. I'll go right there. So I think it came out pretty nice. And my demo came out a little bit better than my actual card, but it just goes to show you when you do make a mistake, you can always fix it. I could have left that there, and if I had more paper, what I would have done is I would have just left the plaid in the middle. I would have cut another piece of the argyle if I really felt like I didn't want to take it off. And then I would have just done the argyle here and here, and then the plaid and reverse it. That's the great thing about making cards is it's up to you. You get to do what you want. You're the creator of your, what does that say? The saying, you're the creator of your success or something. But you know what? No, there's no mistakes. It's yours, and make it yours. And again, this is Diane with Stampin' Up, and have fun stamping.